action. So my name is Bastian Leander, and I'm the founder and owner of Gedulgt, and I'm the happy, first and foremost, consumer of drinks with foamy whites, and I'm also, of course, a customer of the foamy whites product. To begin with, in my career, we used, fresh eggs for creating drinks with egg white, which was fun. A lot of guests really looks weird at you when you're grabbing an egg from the fridge and start creating drinks with the egg white inside of that egg. So that was the way we did it for many years when I started bartending in 2012. And of course, when I opened Gedulgt back in 2017, we also introduced the whole egg in drinks, which it was like egg white or egg yolk or both of them. It always came from an egg. I always had this feeling that the egg white you got from plastic bottles was really shit, pardon my French, but it was not good. I often say if you have really cheap, horrible eggs, it would still be better than the stuff you got from the plastic bottles. And then a miracle happened. Normally when we see these plastic bottles with egg white in, there's a lot of like chickens and eggs on them, and they're see-through and stuff like that. And then this really subtle bottle came in the door. Then we tested it because we were having a really hard time behind the bar keeping up with the ticket time. You have to crack an egg each time and get those drinks out fast. So I was like willing to start test, but I knew that I would be skeptic. We shake the drink. We look inside of it and we're preparing to do the dry shake. And we're like, that looks like a lot of foam. So we looked at that and we're like, this is weird. It looks really good as it is. And that was where we suddenly realized that there was a new player in this market, and we quite fast adapted these egg white instead of using a whole egg, because it also saved time, and the texture of the foam is really nice. It's not just about saving time, but we also feel that the mouthfeel was really great, and it has a nice foam even though that it's standing on the table for quite some time. So in that sense, there was a lot of like win-win situations regarding this. Also in the prep, we have a really famous cocktail called the American Beauty. It's made on siphon flasks because we need to have a really thick foam. It's served in a bathtub, so it has to look like a bathtub foam. And I used to approximately crack 200 eggs per week preparing these batches of American Beauty mix. So it took me, I think, like sometimes 1.5–2 hours per week to do this task with the whole egg. Instead, we could just use like 20 cl of foamy whites in each batch. And I don't want to think about it, and I rarely talk about it, because if you think like from 2017, each week, 2 hours of my life times that many years before we start using foamy whites. Sometimes I would love to call up Matthias and be like, why were you so slow creating this really nice product? You could have saved me millions of hours, but thank you though. So in that sense, I also saved some precious time in the prep. And in order to get that really strong foam of drink in the bathtub, the American Beauty, it's really important that it is really excellent egg white that we are using. And you can see that it's been actually more strong since we started using the foamy whites than the actual cracked eggs. So in that sense, it's funny that this, business or industry, you think you got it all figured out, you think that we have mastered all the tricks, and then all of a sudden we're just like blown away about some new product or new technique. And it's just really important to be open-minded. Basically, it was a learning for me as well to be open-minded and don't be so stubborn in my old habits, basically.